What if the voice inside your head wasn't you, but the only thing standing in your way? Welcome to Audiobook, where we explore the books that awaken the mind and elevate the soul. Today, we're diving into The Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer, a spiritual roadmap to inner freedom, conscious awareness, and true peace. This isn't just about thinking differently. It's about discovering who you really are beneath the noise, the fear, and the limits you've unknowingly accepted. Chapter 1. Who are you really? What if everything you believed about yourself, your thoughts, your identity, your inner voice was only the tip of the iceberg? What if you're not who you think you are? That's the explosive question Michael A. Singer asks in The Untethered Soul. And the journey he takes us on starts with one powerful revelation. You are not the voice in your head. Let's start there. Take a moment. Close your eyes and listen. That voice constantly narrating your life, judging your experiences, planning the future, replaying the past. It feels like you, doesn't it? But Singer challenges us with this radical idea. You are not the voice. You are the one who hears the voice. You are the observer. That subtle shift changes everything. Suddenly, you're no longer tangled in your thoughts. You're not the anger or the joy or the doubt. You are the awareness behind it all. And once you realize that, the doors of inner freedom crack open. Most of us live inside a mental prison. We wake up and immediately start listening to that inner roommate. It complains, it worries, it second guesses, and we assume it knows what it's talking about. But have you ever noticed how inconsistent it is? One moment it loves something, the next it criticizes the exact same thing. It's not grounded in truth. It's grounded in fear, desire, and survival. But here's the breakthrough. Just because it speaks doesn't mean it's right. The key is learning to separate yourself from that voice, to stop identifying with it, because you, the real you, are not your thoughts. You are the one who notices your thoughts. That's where the journey of untethering begins. Imagine walking through life like a quiet witness. The world unfolds. People come and go. Emotions rise and fall. And you observe untouched. This doesn't mean you're cold or indifferent. It means you're grounded in something deeper than the chaos of the mind. You're rooted in awareness, in consciousness itself. And when you live from that place, something beautiful starts to happen. You find peace, but it's not instant. Our minds are deeply conditioned. They've been building walls for decades. Walls made of stories, beliefs, trauma, and self-concepts. To break free, we first have to see how those walls were built. Think about how you formed your identity. From childhood, you were told who you were. You absorbed praise and criticism. You labeled yourself as smart or not, shy or confident, good or bad. Bit by bit, you constructed a mental image of me. But that image isn't you. It's just a collection of impressions. It's like a photo album made of thoughts. Singer explains that this constructed self is fragile. It constantly needs validation. It's terrified of being wrong. It avoids discomfort at all costs. So it builds defenses, it clings, it controls, it resists. And all of that tension creates suffering. Here's the paradox. The more we try to protect our inner world, the more imprisoned we become. Every time we react to defend the self-image, we reinforce the illusion. We trap ourselves in a cycle of fear and resistance. But there is another way we can choose to let go. Let go of the need to be right. Let go of the fear of being hurt. Let go of the constant urge to control how life unfolds. That doesn't mean becoming passive. It means becoming free. Free from the compulsion to react. Free from the emotional baggage we carry. Free to experience life fully without the filter of ego. And that freedom begins with awareness. Start paying attention to your inner world. Notice when your mind starts chattering. Notice when emotions arise. Don't fight them. Just observe. Become curious. Ask yourself, who is noticing this? And keep returning to that question again and again. That's how you start to detach. You become the watcher, not the participant. You watch your fear, but you don't become your fear. You witness your anger, but you don't act from it. You hold space for your pain, but you don't let it define you. In that space of awareness, healing begins. One of the biggest misconceptions we have is that we need to fix ourselves before we can be at peace. But Singer flips that idea on its head. He says peace is your natural state. It's always there underneath the noise. You don't have to fix anything. You just have to let go of what's blocking it. Imagine your mind as a river constantly flowing. Thoughts, emotions, sensations. They're like debris floating downstream. If you try to grab every piece, analyze it, and hold on to it, you get overwhelmed. But if you sit on the bank and simply watch, the river flows on and you remain still. That's what Singer means by untethering the soul. You stop attaching, you stop grasping, you let life move through you without resistance. And that's where real power lives. Because the truth is, we can't control life. Things will happen. People will hurt us, dreams will crumble, the mind will scream, but none of that has the power to shake you unless you give it that power. You are not the chaos. You are the stillness behind it. And when you finally realize that, everything changes. Your relationships become deeper because you stop projecting your wounds. Your work becomes more fulfilling because it's not driven by ego. Your inner world becomes lighter because you no longer carry every thought like a burden. But it takes practice. Every moment is a choice. Will you identify with the voice or will you return to the observer? Start small. The next time you feel triggered, pause, breathe, watch. Don't act. Just notice what's happening inside. That pause is powerful. In that space, you reconnect with your true self. And from that place, you begin to untangle the knots that have kept you bound. The first step is awareness. The next is surrender. But we'll get to that right now. Just sit with this truth. You are not your mind. You are the witness of your mind. You are the conscious presence behind every thought, every feeling, every moment. That is the beginning of liberation. That is the first breath of the untethered soul. Chapter 2, the inner roommate, taming the voice within. Let's be honest. If someone followed you around all day, talking nonstop, judging everything you do, making random predictions, obsessing over worst case scenarios, and replaying old conversations, you'd probably run for the hills. But the shocking truth is, we all live with that exact kind of person inside our heads. Singer calls it your inner roommate, and this chapter is about finally seeing that roommate for who it is and deciding whether you want it running your life. From the moment we wake up, that inner voice starts chattering. Did I say the right thing yesterday? What if they took it the wrong way? I need to do better today. Oh no, I forgot to answer that email. It goes on and on like a bad radio station you can't turn off. The wild part? Most people never question it. We assume that voice is us. We think, that's me thinking. But as we started to uncover in chapter 1, it's not. It's just a mental process, a stream of thoughts. And just because it's loud doesn't mean it's wise. Singer pushes us to take a radical step back and watch that voice like it's a separate entity. Because it is. It's a programmed conditioned system that runs on memories, beliefs, and fear. It's not objective, it's not rational, and it's definitely not peaceful. But once you start observing it instead of obeying it, everything changes. Start noticing how contradictory that voice is. 1 minute it says you should speak up more. The next minute it scolds you for saying too much. It complains when things are quiet, but freaks out when they're busy. It craves comfort, then feels bored by it. This inconsistency isn't just annoying, it reveals something deeper. That voice doesn't know what it wants, and it definitely doesn't know what's best for you, yet we let it steer the ship. It decides who we should date, what career we pursue, how we handle conflict, all based on its noisy, unstable narrative. But here's the truth. If you listen to your inner roommate all the time, you'll be stuck in a loop of anxiety, reactivity, and self-doubt. The voice is trying to control everything, and it's exhausting. That's why the practice of witnessing is so powerful. Instead of getting swept away by the inner chatter, you become aware of it. You listen with curiosity, not obedience. And when you do that, something incredible happens. Space opens up inside you. Space to breathe, space to choose, space to let life happen without being hijacked by the mental drama. Singer gives a beautiful analogy. He says, imagine you're sitting on a couch and your inner roommate is next to you just rambling. At some point, wouldn't you look over and say, hey, can you maybe chill for a second? The more you see how neurotic and repetitive the voice is, the less power it has over you. And here's where things get deeper. Singer explains that the voice isn't the real problem. It's your attachment to it. We cling to it because it gives us a sense of control. If we can think through everything, maybe we can avoid pain. Maybe we can stay safe. But that illusion of control is just another trap. In reality, all that overthinking is just a wall built around fear. So how do you start letting go? It begins with recognition. Notice when the voice ramps up. Maybe you feel rejected and the voice starts spinning stories. They don't like me. I'm not good enough. Instead of diving into that narrative, pause. Say to yourself, there it is. The voice is reacting. That simple shift puts you back in the seat of awareness. From there, you have a choice. Do you fuel the story or do you let it pass? Letting it pass doesn't mean suppressing it. It means relaxing around it. You breathe, you observe, you let the emotion flow through you without grabbing onto it. And the more you practice this, the more you realize something extraordinary. The voice loses its grip. The thoughts still come, but they don't pull you in. You become like the sky, and the thoughts are just passing clouds. This is the beginning of true freedom. But there's another layer. The inner roommate isn't just random noise. It's also the voice of your past. Every painful memory, every moment of embarrassment or rejection, it's all stored in there. And the voice constantly pulls from that database, trying to protect you from ever feeling those things again. So when you face a situation that even slightly resembles past pain, the voice freaks out. It tries to shut it down, control it, avoid it. That's why so many of us live in defense mode. But living like that keeps us trapped. We're not really living. We're just managing the fear. Singer offers a different path. Rather than trying to control the world to protect your inner wounds, heal the wounds. And healing starts by letting them come up without resisting. Let's say someone says something critical and suddenly you feel a deep sting. Instead of reacting, snapping back, withdrawing, or over-explaining, what if you just notice the reaction? What if you let the hurt rise, breathe through it, and allowed it to move? That's not weakness. That's courage. That's spiritual strength. Over time, the inner roommate quiets down. It still talks, but it's not driving anymore. You're no longer lost in its stories. You're anchored in awareness. And that awareness is where peace lives. It's not a peace that comes and goes. It's a permanent foundation beneath the noise. The more you rest there, the more the world opens up. Life becomes lighter, more spontaneous. You stop resisting what is. You stop trying to fix every moment. You simply experience life raw, real, and unfiltered. The greatest irony, the more you let go of control, the more you actually feel in control. Not because you're manipulating outcomes, but because you're no longer being controlled by your own mind. That's the power of disidentifying from the voice. You're not here to be a prisoner of your thoughts. You're here to wake up, to remember that you are the sky, not the storm. That you are the witness, not the worries. That you are the soul, not the struggle. Your inner roommate will always have something to say, but you don't have to listen, you don't have to engage, you don't have to believe every word. You can smile, nod, and gently return to the quiet center within. And from that place, life begins to transform. Not because the world changes, but because you do. Chapter 3, embracing the flow of energy. Let's talk about energy. Not the kind that powers your phone, but the kind that powers you. Ever notice how sometimes you feel vibrant, alive, unstoppable, and other times you feel drained, heavy, stuck? That shift, that rise and fall. It's all about your internal energy flow. And in this chapter, Michael A. Singer unveils one of the most overlooked keys to happiness, clarity, and inner peace. Your relationship with energy. At the core of it, you're an energetic being. That might sound a little mystical, but it's not. It's real. You feel it every time you get excited, nervous, inspired, or hurt. That tingling sensation in your chest when something moves you. That tight knot in your stomach when you're anxious. That lightness when you're laughing so hard you can't breathe. That's energy. Singer explains that within you lies a natural, limitless source of energy. It's the same life force that breathes your body, beats your heart, and fuels your consciousness. When this energy is flowing freely, you feel amazing. You feel joyful for no reason. You feel connected to life. You feel you. But here's the problem. Most people block that energy. Instead of letting it flow, we trap it, we resist it, we shut it down. Why? Because we've built a system of mental and emotional defenses that close us off from experience. Anytime something uncomfortable comes up, fear, sadness, anger, we tense up, we close our hearts, we avoid. And in doing so, we create an inner blockage. Imagine your energy like a river. When it flows freely, everything flourishes. But when you dam it up with fear and resistance, the water stagnates. That's what happens inside us every day. We hold on to past pain, we cling to grudges, we avoid discomfort, and all of that creates energetic clutter. Think back to a time someone hurt you. Maybe it was years ago. But if you think about it now and that tightness still comes back in your chest, that means the energy from that moment is still stuck inside you. It's unfinished, it's unprocessed, and it's stealing your vitality every single day. Now multiply that by all the other unresolved moments in your life, and you start to see why so many people feel weighed down. We're walking around with emotional storage units full of pain, fear, and disappointment. And every time life even touches one of those storage units, we react. Someone looks at us the wrong way. Boom! Defensiveness. A challenge arises. Boom! Anxiety. A person doesn't meet our expectations. Boom! Resentment. And these reactions are not about the present moment. They're about the energy blocks we've been carrying for years. But here's the breakthrough. You can let it go. You don't have to carry it anymore. You don't have to fix the past or protect yourself from the future. You can learn to stay open in the face of discomfort. And when you do, those energy blocks start to dissolve. How? Singer's answer is simple but powerful. Relax and release. The moment you feel triggered, when that emotional tension rises, your instinct will be to tighten, up to close, but instead you pause. You breathe. You lean into the feeling, and most importantly, you don't resist. You let the energy move through you like a wave. You let the heart stay open, even when it wants to shut. This is the essence of spiritual growth. Learning to stay open is not about avoiding pain. It's about moving through it without getting stuck. It's about allowing life to flow through you instead of around you. It's about transforming your body into a vessel of freedom, not fear. And when you do that, when you consistently let go instead of holding on, you begin to tap into a source of energy that is so deep, so alive, so powerful. It will blow your mind. Think of a time when you were truly inspired. Maybe you were working on something you loved. Maybe you were in nature. Maybe you were with someone who made your heart feel full. Remember that feeling. That was your energy flowing. That was your natural state. Singer says this is not a rare gift. It's your baseline. But to live there, you must be willing to let go of everything that closes you. It's not about becoming numb or pretending nothing bothers you. It's about acknowledging every emotion, every fear, every wound, and still choosing openness. It's a courageous path because staying open means being vulnerable. It means risking disappointment. It means letting go of control, and the ego hates that. The ego wants to build walls, create rules, avoid risks. But those walls become your prison. Every time you close your heart, you choose the illusion of safety over the reality of life. But what if you chose differently? What if in the exact moment of contraction, you chose to expand? What if in the middle of fear, you chose to love? That choice moment by moment is what liberates your soul. And once you start to release those old blockages, something incredible happens. You begin to feel light, literally, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Your body feels more relaxed. Your thoughts become clearer. Your heart feels more open. You become more present, more alive. You start radiating energy instead of consuming it. People feel it. You walk into a room and something about you glows. That's not magic. That's alignment. That's what happens when you stop blocking life and start flowing with it. The biggest takeaway from this chapter is this: your energy is your responsibility. It's not life's job to make you feel good. It's your job to keep your inner space clear. And you do that by choosing openness again and again, no matter what life throws your way. Because the truth is, life will throw things your way. Challenges, loss, frustration, rejection, it's all part of the ride. But you don't have to be a victim of circumstance. You don't have to close every time something feels hard. You can become a master of your internal world. You can train yourself to relax in the face of tension, to soften when you want to harden, to breathe when you want to run. And in doing so, you reclaim your energy, your joy, your freedom. This is not just about inner peace. It's about reclaiming your life, the one that's been buried under layers of emotional armor. The one that's been waiting to be felt fully, lived fully, expressed fully. So the next time something stirs up discomfort, in you. Remember this. It's not a curse. It's an opportunity to let go, to grow, to rise, to shine. You are not here to be a prisoner of your past. You are here to let your energy flow, to live with an open heart, and to experience the full spectrum of life. Not from fear, but from freedom. Let it in, let it move, let it go. Chapter 4, the art of letting go, breaking free from inner clutter. You've probably heard the phrase, just let it go, more times than you can count. But let's be honest, when you're in the middle of pain, heartbreak, or stress, how do you let go of something that feels so real, so heavy, so personal? Michael A. Singer doesn't just tell you to let go, he shows you how. And in this chapter, we dive deep into what letting go really means and how it becomes the master key to your inner freedom. First, we need to understand one simple but life-changing truth. You are not your thoughts, your emotions, or your experiences. You are the one who notices those things. That part of you, the observer, is untouched. It's always calm, always aware, always centered. But every time you get triggered, every time you react to something emotionally, you're not living from that deeper place. You're letting the mind take the wheel, and the mind loves to grab onto things. Offenses, fears, regrets, cravings, you name it. Letting go means recognizing when this is happening and consciously deciding not to hold on. Sounds simple, right? But here's where it gets tricky. Most people don't realize how much they're holding on to. The moment someone says something that hits a nerve, your mind leaps into action. Defending, replaying, blaming, analyzing. It's a loop, and it drains your energy. Singer uses a powerful metaphor. Imagine you're holding a hot coal in your hand. It burns, it hurts, but for some reason you refuse to drop it. That's what holding on looks like. You carry emotional pain long after the moment has passed. You rehearse arguments in your head. You revisit old wounds. You cling to stories about how things should have gone. But letting go is like finally dropping the coal. You don't need to justify it. You don't need to process it for another decade. You simply recognize this is hurting me and release. Of course your mind won't like this. The mind loves to fixate. It thinks if I just keep thinking about this, I'll figure it out. I'll protect myself. But that's an illusion. What you're really doing is reliving pain over and over. Singer invites you to challenge this pattern. The moment you feel tension in your body, tight chest, clenched stomach, racing thoughts, that's your signal. That's your moment of choice. You can contract, tighten, obsess, or you can breathe, relax, and release. Letting go is an act of bravery because it means giving up control. It means saying, I don't need to understand this. I don't need to change the past. I choose freedom over friction. And when you begin to do this, even with small things, something starts to shift inside. You realize that peace is not something you chase. It's what's left when you stop holding on to pain. Think about how much of your life revolves around trying to manage or manipulate emotions. You avoid people who trigger you. You seek out experiences to make you feel better. You overthink conversations. All of it stems from the refusal to feel and release. But what if instead of trying to fix your inner world, you simply let it pass? A thought arises. I'm not good enough. Instead of fighting it, you let it be. You don't feed it. You don't believe it. You just observe it. A wave of anxiety comes through. You don't push it down. You don't run from it. You breathe, relax, and let it flow. Suddenly, you're not at war with yourself anymore. And when the war ends, energy returns, clarity returns, joy returns. Singer says that every time you're disturbed, the answer is the same. Relax and release over and over again. No matter what's happening around you, no matter how unfair, scary, or frustrating it seems. Because here's the truth. Life is going to keep happening. People will disappoint you. Circumstances will shift. Our plans will fall apart. But none of those things have the power to disturb you unless you let them in and hold on to them. So when you feel triggered, ask yourself, what am I holding on to right now? And then gently drop it. You might have to do this 10, 50, or 100 times in a single day. That's okay. Every release is a step toward liberation. And there's another layer to this. Letting go also means letting go of the good experiences, the highs, the things you cling to because they make you feel special or validated. Why? Because attachment even to pleasure creates suffering. The more you cling, the more you fear losing. And fear is just another form of inner bondage. Singer reminds us true happiness comes not from getting what you want, but from learning to be okay no matter what happens. That's freedom. That's power. That's living untethered. When you let go, you become light. You move through the world without baggage. You respond instead of reacting. You show up fully instead of hiding behind walls. You become available to life. Not just the parts you like, but all of it. And ironically, the more you release, the more life flows to you. Opportunities arise. Relationships deepen. Creativity awakens. Why? Because you're no longer blocked. You're no longer trying to force life into a box. You've opened up, and now life can meet you where you are. You begin to trust that everything is unfolding for your growth, even the painful parts, especially the painful parts. Letting go is not passive. It's not weakness. It's one of the most radical transformative choices you can make. It's saying, I trust the intelligence of life more than I trust the noise of my mind. And every time you choose release over resistance, that choice echoes through your entire being. It clears space, it heals, it expands. So start now in this moment. Whatever you're holding on to, whatever story, fear, or grudge, ask yourself, is it helping you grow? Is it helping you love more? If not, breathe and let it go. You don't need to carry it anymore, because who you really are was never broken. It was just buried under everything you refused to release. Set it free and you set yourself free. Chapter 5, the voice inside your head is not you. Pause for a second. Have you ever truly listened to that voice in your head? The constant commentary, the never-ending narrative about what's good, what's bad, what's safe, what's terrifying. You know the voice. It's the one that replays that awkward moment from 5 years ago at 2 a.m. The one that overanalyzes texts, imagines worst-case scenarios, and fills your mind with what-ifs and should-haves. It pretends to be you. It uses your voice. But here's the truth Michael A. Singer throws at us like a lightning bolt. That voice isn't you. Let that sink in. That voice, the non-stop chatter in your head, it's not who you are. It's just what you hear. You are not the thoughts. You're the awareness behind them. Most of us have spent our entire lives identifying with the voice. We've believed everything it says. We've obeyed its commands, feared its warnings, and let it run the show. But Singer pulls back the curtain and shows us that this voice is more like a roommate. And honestly, it's kind of a terrible one. It talks all the time, even when you want silence. It criticizes everything. You, others, the weather, the traffic, the waiter who brought your coffee 2 minutes late. It obsesses over things it can't control and freaks out over things that might never happen. If this roommate were a real person, you'd have kicked them out years ago. But because they live in your mind, you've let them stay rentree and rule your life. But here's where it gets liberating. The moment you realize you're not the voice, a massive shift happens. You move from being the thinker to observing the thinking, and that's the beginning of real inner freedom. Imagine sitting by a river watching leaves float by. Each leaf is a thought. Some are beautiful, some are dark, some are just plain weird. But you don't have to chase the leaves. You don't have to dive in and drown. You can just sit, notice, and let them pass. That's your power. Singer emphasizes this. The voice in your head isn't trying to help you. It's trying to make you feel safe based on outdated beliefs, fears, and insecurities. It's reactive. It's irrational. And most of the time, it's plain wrong. But the mind doesn't care about truth. It cares about control. It tries to protect you by creating stories. Don't trust that person. You're not good enough for them. If this doesn't work out, your whole life is ruined. These thoughts feel real, but they're just projections, mental noise, ghosts of past experiences. And if you listen to them without awareness, you become their prisoner. You limit your potential. You sabotage your joy. You stay small because the voice says it's safer there, but safe isn't the same as free. Freedom comes when you stop obeying every thought. When you realize you can hear the voice without acting on it, without believing it, without letting it define you. This is where mindfulness meets mastery. Next time your mind spins a story, pause. Don't react, just watch. Treat it like background music in a store. It's playing, but you're not dancing to it. You're not getting sucked into the lyrics. You're just aware. Singer explains that this observer, that quiet presence within you, is who you truly are. It never judges, it never panics. It simply sees. It's the eye of the storm, the one constant in your ever-changing life. And when you learn to rest in that awareness, everything changes. You stop needing to fix or control your thoughts. You stop fearing your emotions. You stop getting dragged by the chaos in your head. Instead, you rise above it. You live from a place of spaciousness, clarity, and calm. This isn't about silencing the voice. That's not realistic. The mind will chatter because that's what minds do. But you don't have to give it power. You don't have to build your life on its stories. Let's be clear. This doesn't mean ignoring all thoughts. Your mind is a tool. It can solve problems, create beauty, plan your day. What it's meant to be, a servant, not a master. When the voice is helpful, use it. When it's not, let it go. Don't argue with it. Don't try to fix it. Just watch it pass like clouds in the sky. Later, the key is detachment. Not distance, but non-attachment. You still hear the voice, but you don't become the voice. That shift creates space inside you. Space for peace, space for creativity, space for life to move through you without resistance. Singer warns that the voice will resist this. It will fight to stay in control. It will whisper, if you don't listen to me, everything will fall apart. But everything falling apart is often what leads to everything finally coming together. You're not here to live inside a mental cage. You're here to fly. And detaching from the voice is the first step to unlocking your wings. So the next time that voice starts up telling you you're not enough, that you should be afraid that you failed, don't fight it, don't follow it, just notice it, smile at it, and gently return to that calm awareness inside you. You are not the noise. You are the silence that hears it, and in that silence lives your power, your peace, and your untethered soul. Chapter 6, Transcending the Tendency to Close. We all do it. When something hurts us, embarrasses us, or even makes us just a little uncomfortable, we shut down. Maybe not in a dramatic, visible way, but internally we close. A little armor goes up, a little more tension enters the body, a little more distance is created between us and life. Michael A. Singer challenges this deeply ingrained reflex. He says, what if you didn't close? What if you chose to stay open? Always let that idea rattle around your mind for a moment. Think about how often you've shut down emotionally. A text you didn't get back, a look someone gave you, a memory that stung. It doesn't take much, and suddenly we're off. Walls go up, our energy drops, our chest tightens. We go into defense mode. But here's the twist Singer drops on us. That's not protection, that's suffocation. Every time you close, you trap your energy. You interrupt your flow. You stop life from moving freely through you. And when that happens over and over, you become like a blocked pipe. No matter how beautiful the water of life is, it can't pass through. So what causes us to close in the first place? Fear. Plain and simple. Fear of pain. Fear of rejection. Fear of being hurt again. So we try to protect ourselves by shutting down. But this protection ends up becoming our prison. We're locked inside ourselves, trying to stay safe while life passes us by. Singer explains that this mechanism comes from past impressions, what he calls samskaras. These are the unresolved energies from previous experiences. And unless you release them, they'll keep getting triggered over and over like landmines buried deep in your psyche. Let's say someone breaks your trust. You don't fully feel it. You don't process it. Instead, you close. You vow never to trust. Like that again. That vow becomes an energetic block. Then months or years later, someone else comes along. They say something innocent, but it hits that same spot and boom, you're closed again. It becomes automatic. You don't even think, you just react. But what if you could interrupt that cycle? What if when you felt the urge to close, you did the opposite? You relaxed, you stayed present, you breathed into the tension, you let it move through you instead of locking it in. That's the art of staying open. And it's not easy because everything in you will once contract. Every old wound will scream, protect me, as you, but that's the exact moment you have a choice. Will you contract and repeat the past, or will you relax and transcend it? Here's what happens when you choose openness. Energy flows, life flows, love flows. You don't just feel better, you feel alive. Because now you're not resisting the experience. You're letting it pass through you like wind through an open window. And with every experience you allow, with every moment you don't shut down, something inside you heals. The samskaras begin to break apart. The old energies get released and you become lighter, freer, brighter. Singer says, the secret is simple, but not easy. Always stay open, especially when you want to close the most. Think about that. The moment you feel insulted, stay open. The moment you feel afraid, stay open. The moment someone triggers your deepest insecurity, breathe and stay open. It takes courage, it takes awareness, but it's the path to true inner freedom. Because here's the truth, you can't control what happens in life. You can't stop people from disappointing you, from leaving, from being imperfect, but you can control how you respond. You can either resist and close or relax and open. And each choice you make creates your future. When you constantly close, you shrink. Your world gets smaller. You start avoiding things. You start living in fear. But when you choose to stay open, even when it's hard, you expand, you grow, you evolve. Singer doesn't sugarcoat it. This isn't a one-time thing. This is a momentum moment practice. It's like going to the mental gym. Every time you face a trigger, you have a chance to lift the weight of presence and openness. And the more you do it, the stronger you get. You'll begin to notice things that used to bother you don't anymore. The old triggers lose their grip. You're not so easily disturbed. Not because the world changed, but because you did. You stopped closing, you stopped resisting, and now life can move through you instead of getting stuck inside you. That's what it means to transcend. Transcend doesn't mean escape. It doesn't mean hide or numb or distract. It means rise above. It means seeing the drama, the emotion, the chaos, and choosing to remain open anyway. Imagine what your life would feel like if you didn't carry the weight of every hurt. If you didn't close down every time something didn't go your way. If you were just free, it's possible. It's within you. It starts with this moment, this breath. So when life comes at you with pain, discomfort, or fear, don't armor up, don't turn away. Open, soften, relax, feel. Because when you do, you're not just avoiding suffering, you're transforming it. And in that transformation, you discover a truth so powerful, it changes everything. Theopenis you fear is the very thing that will set you free. Chapter 7, letting goof the blockages. There's a moment in every person's journey where they realize they've been carrying too much. Not physically, but emotionally, energetically, spiritually. It shows up in the form of heaviness, tension, triggers, fatigue that no amount of sleep can fix. That weight, it's not from the outside world, it's from within. And Michael A. Singer gives us the most powerful tool to finally release it. Letting go. Letting go sounds simple, almost too simple. But it's one of the most radical and courageous acts you'll ever commit to. Because letting go isn't just about forgiving others or moving on from the past. It's about surrendering the grip your inner blockages have on your life. Let's go deeper. Every time something happens that you can't emotionally process, an argument, a breakup, a betrayal, you don't just get over it, you bury it, you push it down. And when you do that, it doesn't disappear. It stays inside, trapped like a knot of energy in your heart or gut. Singer calls these energetic blockages samskaras, and they're like psychic scars. Every time they're triggered, the pain rises back up. And most of us don't deal with that pain by feeling it. We deal by suppressing it, avoiding it, or building walls to protect ourselves from it. But here's the kicker. What you don't let go of owns you. You might think you've moved on, but if the memory still stings, if the thought of that person still causes a reaction, it means the blockage is still there. So how do you release it? Singer lays it out with surprising clarity. When a blockage surfaces, when an old wound rises up, don't resist it. Don't run. Don't analyze. Just relax and release. Picture this, you're walking through your day. Suddenly something happens. A look, a comment, a sound, and boom, it hits that old wound. You feel your chest tighten, your stomach clench, your mind flare up with thoughts. That's the moment. The moment most people close, they push it away, they distract. But you can do something different. You can breathe. You can let go, relax your body. Don't tense up. Let the energy come up like a bubble rising to the surface. Don't judge it. Don't explain it. Just feel it and let it pass through. It may be uncomfortable. It may be intense, but it's temporary. And every time you let that energy rise and release, you free yourself. Singer describes this process as the natural purification of your inner world. It's like cleaning out a house that's been cluttered for years. Each emotion you release, each blockage you dissolve, opens more space for peace, joy, and clarity. And make no mistake, these blockages are costing you. They drain your energy. They skew your perception. They sabotage your relationships and decisions without you even realizing it. For example, if you've never released the pain of past betrayal, you might find yourself sabotaging new relationships out of fear. If you've never let go of childhood shame, you might keep shrinking yourself in adult life. Letting go isn't weakness, it's liberation. It doesn't mean the pain didn't matter, it means you choose not to carry it anymore. And this is where it gets truly powerful. Singer teaches that you don't have to fix every problem, resolve every trauma, or understand every emotion to heal. You just have to let it pass. Your job isn't to heal the pain, it's to stop clinging to it. When something triggers you, you have two options. Hold on to it or let it go. One keeps you stuck, the other sets you free. So the next time an old feeling rises, don't fight it, don't indulge it, just notice it. Say to yourself, there it is again. Then relax, breathe, surrender the need to react. Let it be there without, and you'll start to notice something extraordinary. The more you let go, the lighter you feel. The more you stop resisting, the more energy flows. The world doesn't change, but your experience of it does. You stop living from your wounds and start living from your wholeness. This isn't about spiritual bypassing or pretending everything is fine. It's about facing the pain head on, releasing it rather than reliving it. Letting go is a practice, a muscle. Every moment gives you a chance to work it. Traffic jam, let it go. Someone interrupts you, let it go. Old shame resurfaces, let it go. You don't have to fix it, you just have to stop holding on to it. And the more you release, the closer you get to your true self. Not the version of you shaped by trauma or fear, but the version that's always been there underneath it all. Pure awareness, pure joy, pure love. That's what you uncover when you let go of the layers. You discover the part of you that doesn't cling, doesn't fear, doesn't need. The part of you that's always free, just waiting to shine through. So if you want freedom, real freedom is not in changing your life. It's in changing your relationship to what you carry inside. Let it come, let it rise, and when it does, let it go. Chapter 8. Katie, living in the present moment. Imagine this. You wake up, stretch, and the sun greets your face. There's no weight of yesterday, no worry about tomorrow. Just this moment, alive, untouched, unfiltered. That's what it means to be free. That's the power of living fully, completely in the present. Michael A. Singer pulls no punches in this chapter. He says it outright. The only thing you ever really have is now. Think about that. Not 5 minutes ago, not 5 minutes from now. Just now. And yet how rarely are we actually here? We're usually caught in our heads replaying old arguments, fantasizing about the future, obsessing over what someone said or didn't say. We live in the mind's movie theater, staring at reruns of the past and trailers for a future that hasn't happened. And all the while, life is passing us by. Singer invites us to recognize this insanity. He says, you're not your thoughts. You're not your memories. You're the one who notices those thoughts and memories. That's the first big shift. Learning to witness instead of participate. When a thought pops up, I'm not good enough. What if this goes wrong? You can simply notice it like clouds drifting across the sky. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to believe it. You just let it float by. The present moment is your anchor. It's the only space where life actually happens. The past is gone. The future isn't here yet. Everything you ever experienced, joy, sorrow, love, peace, it all happens now. And if you're not present, you miss it. You might be standing under the stars, but your mind is busy revisiting a work email. You might be sitting across from someone you love, but your attention is scrolling through problems that don't even exist yet. Singer challenges us, what if you stopped giving the mind so much power? What if you didn't need to control every thought, every emotion? What if you just watched and stayed present? Sounds simple, but it's revolutionary because the mind is loud. It wants to narrate, control, analyze, judge. It thinks it's protecting you, but really it's pulling you out of the only place you're truly safe, the now. Living in the present means letting life unfold without your constant interference. It means allowing moments to be what they are without immediately labeling them good or bad, without clinging to them or pushing them away. And something magical happens when you do this. Peace returns because peace doesn't come from figuring everything out. It comes from not needing to. It comes from resting in awareness itself. Calm, clear, undisturbed. You start to notice the details of life. The warmth of a cup in your hand, the sound of birds, the feeling of breath entering and leaving your lungs. These simple things, usually invisible when you're lost in thought, become radiant and life starts to feel full. Not because you've added anything, but because you've stopped blocking what was always there. Singer says that every moment is a gift, even the painful ones, because every moment gives you the chance to wake up, to break free from your habitual patterns, to choose presence over resistance, openness over fear. Let's pause and get real. We've all had those moments where time seems to disappear. Watching a sunset, laughing with a friend, getting lost in music. Those are moments where the mind goes quiet and presence takes over. And don't they feel like home? That's the state Singer is pointing us toward. Not as a rare accident, but as a way of life. Of course your mind will try to pull you back. It will flash worries and regrets like bait. That's okay. Just notice it, smile even, and gently bring your attention back to the breath, the body, the sounds around you. Presence is a practice, a return again and again. And the more you return, the more natural it becomes. You start living from the present, not just visiting it occasionally. You become rooted in awareness, unshaken by the chaos around you. Singer emphasizes this. Your true self is not the chaos. It's the one who observes the chaos. It's the silent witness, the still center in the storm. And from that stillness, everything changes. You stop reacting. You start responding. You stop rushing. You start experiencing. You stop surviving. You start living. Presence doesn't mean you won't face challenges. It means you'll meet those challenges without adding suffering on top. You won't resist what is. You'll flow with it. And in that flow, you'll discover a grace you didn't know existed. Because life isn't meant to be controlled. It's meant to be experienced moment by moment, breath by breath. So take this moment right now and ask yourself, where am I? Am I here or lost in thought? Come back right here, right now. Feel the air, feel your body, hear the sounds. This is your life, this moment, and it's more than enough. Chapter 9, The Path of Unconditional Happiness. What if you decided right now, this very moment, that you were going to be happy for the rest of your life? Not when you make more money. Not when you find the perfect partner. Not when everything goes your way. Just happy no matter what sounds impossible, right? But Michael A. Singer makes a bold statement. Happiness is a choice and you can make it unconditional. This chapter isn't about wishful thinking or ignoring life's challenges. It's about awakening to a truth that most people miss their entire lives. You don't have to wait for life to be perfect to be at peace. You don't have to earn your happiness. You can choose it. Let's break it down. Think about what we usually do. We build elaborate conditions around our happiness. I'll be happy if they love me. I'll be happy when I lose weight. I'll be happy once I get that promotion. And when those conditions aren't met, we suffer. But here's the catch. Even when those conditions are met, the happiness is usually short-lived because the mind moves the goalposts. The moment one desire is fulfilled, another takes its place. It's a trap, a treadmill, and it never ends unless you step off. Singer says that the only way to break free is to stop tying your inner state to external events, to make the radical decision that your heart is going to be open no matter what. He tells a story. Imagine you're sitting peacefully and someone walks in and insults you. Your peace is gone. But did they take it from you or did you give it away? The truth is, your happiness is yours. It lives inside you. And the moment you start saying nothing is worth closing my heart over, you reclaim it. This doesn't mean you don't care. It means you don't compromise your inner peace for things you can't control. You become the guardian of your own joy. But how do you do that? How do you stay open when life feels like it's breaking you? You start by noticing when you close. Every time someone says something that makes you angry, every time a memory makes you sad, every time fear creeps in, that's your moment, your fork in the road. You can tighten and resist, or you can relax and let go. Choose openness even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Because every moment you keep your heart open, despite the triggers, despite the fear, you strengthen the muscle of unconditional happiness. You stop being a prisoner of your circumstances and become the master of your experience. Singer describes this as living from the seat of awareness. You watch life happen, and instead of getting caught in every emotional storm, you observe it, you feel it, but you don't lose yourself in it. And from that space, something amazing happens. You start to enjoy life exactly as it is. Not because it's perfect, but because you've stopped resisting it. You've stopped needing it to be any different to feel whole. This doesn't mean you give up on growth or goals. It means you pursue them from a place of joy, not as a desperate attempt to feel worthy. You can still build, still create, still chase dreams, but your happiness doesn't hinge on the outcome. You're free to enjoy the process, and this freedom is magnetic. People start noticing something different about you. You don't get thrown off so easily. You're grounded, calm, light, not because life stopped being chaotic, but because you stopped letting it control your inner world. This is what Singer calls the highest state a human being can achieve: to walk through life with an open heart, to say, I don't know what's coming next, but I'm not gonna close. He challenges us to take a vow to never let anything make us close again. And yes, it's a high bar. You'll stumble. We all do. But every time you catch yourself closing, you have the chance to choose again, to breathe, to relax, to stay open. You realize you've been chasing happiness, not knowing it's been inside you all along, just buried under layers of fear and resistance. And as those layers fall away, a different kind of life emerges. A life that's not dictated by events, but shaped by intention. A life where joy isn't something you seek, it's something you bring. So ask yourself, what would happen if you stopped waiting to be happy? What if you stopped giving your peace away so easily? What if you made the choice right now to be free? That's the invitation Singer offers. Not someday, not later, now. Because happiness is not out there. It's right here in your hands, waiting for you to say yes. Chapter 10, the journey beyond yourself. There comes a moment when you stop asking, what do I need to do to be okay? And instead ask, who am I beyond all of this? That moment, that inner shift is the gateway to true freedom. It's the final message of the untethered soul. Your liberation isn't found in the world around you. It's found in who you realize yourself to be. Michael A. Singer brings everything full circle by reminding us that we are not our thoughts, our emotions, or our experiences. We are the one who witnesses them. And that witness is not bound by fear, identity, or limitation. It's boundless, timeless, eternal. All the layers of self we've built, our roles, our stories, our pain, our pride, they're like clothing. And we've worn them for so long we think they are us, but they're not. They're just temporary wrappings around something infinite, our awareness. And once you taste that truth, even for a moment, the whole game changes. You stop chasing meaning in things that constantly shift. You stop defining yourself by wins or losses. You stop needing validation from the world because you found something deeper, something unshakable. Singer calls this the seat of the self, the pure consciousness behind the mind, behind the heart, behind the body. It's the core of who you are, and it's always been there. The only reason you don't feel it all the time is because you've been looking outward instead of inward. The spiritual path isn't about adding more. It's about letting go, peeling back the layers, dropping what doesn't serve until all that's left is you. Raw, radiant, real. But this isn't some mystical far off. Go! It's available to you right now. In this moment, you just have to be willing to release the things you cling to, the beliefs you protect, the pain you identify with, the fears you think define you. Each time something threatens your peace, pause. Don't run. Don't resist. Don't contract. Let it pass through you. That's the practice. That's the surrender. And over time, those blockages, the ones that keep your heart closed and your spirit small, begin to dissolve. You start to feel a lightness, a spaciousness, a quiet joy for no reason. You begin to live from the soul, not just for the ego. And this doesn't mean you float through life disconnected from reality. It means you show up more fully, more awake, more alive. Because now you're not burdened by needing life to conform to your preferences. You're just here for all of it. The beauty, the mess, the mystery. You trust that life knows what it's doing, that it's not your job to control it. It's your job to participate in it with openness, curiosity, and courage. That's what it means to live untethered. And here's the most profound truth Singer offers. When you release the self you've constructed, when you surrender fully to the flow of life, something higher takes over. You become a vessel for something greater than your mind's agenda. Call it the universe, call it spirit, call it God, call it presence. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you're no longer operating from fear. You're living from freedom. You feel guided, you feel connected, you feel at peace. And not because life is perfect, but because you've stopped resisting its imperfection. You've stopped defending the small self and started expressing the infinite self. You are no longer a person who has moments of peace. You are peace having a human experience. That is the essence of the untethered soul. So let this book be more than just words. Let it be a call to action, a call to awakening. Let today be the day you stop running from yourself. Let it be the day you stop believing that you need to be fixed or completed. Let it be the day you finally drop the armor, open your heart, and meet life as it is. Because the truth is, you were never broken. You were never unworthy. You were never separate. You've always been the sky, vast, clear, untouched, while the storms have simply passed through. So take a breath, close your eyes, and remember who you are. You're not here to survive this life. You're here to experience it, expand through it, and awaken within it. And now the choice is yours. Will you keep clinging, or will you finally let go? Will you stay tethered, or will you set yourself free? The path is clear. All that's left is to walk it. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey through the Untethered Soul by Michael A. Singer. If this resonated with you and you want more life-changing insights like this, make sure to subscribe to Great Mind Digest, like this video, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Together, let's continue